one of our most popular pieces of content that we've done over the past couple of years has been introducing our new recruiter. So, new year, new recruiter faces here in the office and all through the country, actually. So, I've got two of them here with me today. Hannah Peets. Peets?
Yes.
Okay. Hannah Peets, Matt Powell. We're going to talk about recruiting in 2023 and what it's like just starting fresh in the industry that we're in right now. Atlas All Access starts now. Hannah, Matt, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First time for both of you in here, right?
Yes.
All right, it's going to be super
Correct.
painful, I promise.
Perfect.
Not painful there. How about that? Okay, so why don't you both introduce yourselves and kind of what you were doing before you came to travel healthcare recruiting.
So I'm Hannah Peets. I'm from Midland, Texas, and I was a traveling surgical tech before I became a recruiter.
How long how long were you a Surg Tech and then how long did you travel?
Surgical tech for 10 years, and I traveled for 6 years.
Wow, okay. Okay, so then this doesn't necessarily count as a question, but what was your best contract?
Oh my gosh. So I loved Maine. I was in Belfast, Maine, right on the coast. It was amazing. I had to leave before the winter, but I was there for 3 months, and then I was in Santa Monica, California for 2 years, and I loved it
Oh my
there
gosh.
too.
Then, yeah. So moved back to Texas? Is that where you're from originally?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I moved back to Lubbock, Texas.
Interesting. I've got more questions around this. We'll come back to
Yeah.
it. So, Matt, what were you doing before this?
Oh, I was doing a lot of things, and it was not travel recruiting, but what it was, I was a CPA, so I still am a CPA. Started off in public accounting for about 10 years, doing audits, taxes, you name it, actually in Southern Illinois. It's where I was born and raised. Came to Omaha by way of ConAgra Foods, and I started an internal audit. Made my way over to Mutual of Omaha in corporate accounting and corporate finance, and here I am.
Okay, so a question for each of you then. Why? What made you switch?
I was just kind of tired of traveling and like picking up and moving all the time and like never really knowing where I was going next. It's kind of hard to plan your life whenever you don't know where you're going to be in 3 months. So I just kind of wanted to settle down, and I still wanted to be a part of the travel experience. So I thought this would be a good next step.
What's interesting, I think, with that is you were a Surg Tech for 10 years. Well, you still are a Surg Tech, obviously, but you traveled for 6, and that's generally kind of the life cycle we've seen. Like there's a 5 to 6 year window where you're going all the time, and then you think, well, maybe it's time for me to settle down or whatever.
Exactly.
So we'll see after a year or so if you get the itch to go back out again. We'll see if that happens.
Right. I'm sure I will.
Matt, why? Why did you make the switch?
Yeah, it's interesting going through accounting, corporate accounting, finance, and all that. We would always take Myers-Briggs type indicator test, strengths finders, and everybody would get their results. And then there was everybody, and then there was Matt Powell. And I was the one that was the relationships, the extroverted, and I just kind of stuck out. And I started thinking, like, what is it that drives me? What is my passion? My passion was relationship building. At my previous company, I got the ability to bring forth what we call the financial development program.
Okay.
We would go out to college campuses and recruit juniors in college that are wanting to do finance or accounting, bring them to our company, put them through an internship program, and then if they did well, graduate, move into a 3-year rotational program.
Okay.
And so I'd already been doing the interviewing, assessing talent, doing the right fit. I get to interview you, but you get to interview me.
Yeah.
Let's see if we want to work well together. And so when I sat back and said, what is it that I like about my job? What is it I like about my role? Those were the things. I had some connections here at Atlas as well as other companies throughout Omaha and thought, you know what, if not now, when?
Sure.
And so it was a good time to make the leap.
Yeah, you were effectively doing the job that you're doing right now, right?
Correct.
I mean, it's the same thing. It was the same thing. You were that interview process, working through that. You're eventually going to find them a job, right? You're helping them. You're working with them on their career path. Interesting. Yep. I guess I didn't know that part. So, how many months in for now? We're going to keep this somewhat timeless. So it's February of 2023 right now as we're recording. How many months in are both of you at recruiting?
We started in October.
Of
So
22.
2022.
You were in the same class together?
Yeah, we were.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best class ever.
Yep.
Well, we'll see about that. Your class has been phenomenal, though, so far. So, reactions so far. Like, give me a gut reaction to, is it what I thought it was going to be? And I think that'll be interesting from the traveler side, and then maybe from your side, too. Like, okay, this is what I assumed it was. Is this what it really was?
I mean, it's pretty much what I thought, except for a lot harder.
Now,
So,
people
but I love
online will
it.
tell you, "Oh my gosh, it's so easy to be a recruiter."
no, I didn't realize how much work actually goes into it.
Yeah.
And when you're a traveler, you kind of are like a little demanding, and you're like, I need this now, or. And then now on the other side, it's like, wow, they're actually working with so many people, like not just me.
Right.
So yeah, it's crazy, but I love it.
It's harder than you thought it was. But,
It is.
Yeah.
It's challenging, but I like it.
Love it.
Yeah, my notion was it's going to be a lot about relationship building. And so for that, it's been what I've expected. So getting on the phones with the individuals, while I am an extrovert and I love to be in person, I've never had to try and gain somebody's trust on somebody that I've never met face to face.
Gotcha.
So that was probably the hardest, is how do I impress upon somebody that I am somebody you can trust, I'm somebody who has your best interest in mind when they can't see you, they don't know you. And so trying to modify my approach to make it to be about them, so you're there, somebody actively listening, and not only actively listening, but then the actions that you follow up with show that you're listening. And so it seems like it was something easy to do in person. It's been harder on the phone, but I've modified my approach to try and hone in on those types of.
It's so much more amplified when you're not in person, right? I mean, it's just those little things, like you said, those little things along the way, and following through on those little things, and the little bits of information you remember about their lives, or that. So when their birthday rolls around, or an anniversary, or something like that, those things, and it's more than just a note in the database, right? Your travelers that well. That's a constant with recruiting. That's always been like that. And if you can get that part down, you probably knew as a traveler, those little things along the way were very special.
Yes.
Especially when you were out on the road, right? And you were by yourself or whatever, and your only lifeline was maybe that recruiter.
Yeah.
And if he or she remembered those little things, that's important. So, okay, give me some of the negatives. What do you think? Like, let's be honest here, because not every and you said it. I mean, it's hard work.
Yeah.
It isn't all sunshine and rainbows, right? There's some not great stuff that goes along with this job. Give me some of the harder stuff that you've encountered.
It's hard whenever you, spend a lot of time getting to know someone and building their profile, and then they end up going with somebody else. But, it's just a part of it. Now you just have to realize that sometimes they're going to do that, and they have to do what's best for them too. So that's been a little hard, but
there's a learning piece behind that too. Like, what could you have done differently next time? And sometimes you couldn't. I mean, maybe sometimes you did everything you could, and it just maybe wasn't a perfect fit. It was a fit, but it wasn't a perfect fit.
Exactly.
So, Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I would say the hardest part is the idea that it's the long game and not the short game. So you may be putting in a lot of effort now, and that's why I focus on trying to build that relationship. Do I know my nurse? Do I know something personal about them? And then have I imparted something personal about me on them? So when they're thinking about my recruiter, are they thinking the company, or are they thinking it's Matt Powell, who's got 4 kids, who lives in Omaha? I try to let them into my world so that I know if I don't get them on this assignment, that's okay. Because I always tell my nurses, the end goal is to get you a job in a hospital where you're saving patients' lives. I don't do that, but I help try and get you into that position. And if not now, maybe the next one. But I want them to think when they're going to their next assignment, oh, I remember Matt worked really hard for me. He didn't get me that assignment this time, but I'm going to go back to him and get that next assignment.
You're still their recruiter no matter what. Even though they didn't take a job with you this time, you are still their recruiter.
Yep.
No matter what.
Exactly.
So, okay, it's crystal ball time. All right, I want you crystal ball. I guess that's more Magic 8 Ball, but look into the future with the knowledge that you have right now. Okay, look into the future. Tell me what this year is going to look like, because I've got a fairly good idea based on projections. I mean, that's obviously part of our job that on this side, right? We have to do that. But just from a recruiting standpoint, where do you think this year goes?
I think things are kind of stabilizing, like after COVID, and the rates are kind of, I guess, going down a little bit. And people are, or maybe
a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I can tell you this morning they went up a little bit, which is kind of weird, but yeah,
really?
It's one of these things,
Yeah,
and
fluctuates.
but I think it's going to be like that though. Please continue.
Right. So it is going to be hard trying to like have those conversations with the travelers that are, used to making a lot, but
yeah,
it is what it is. So
right.
So hopefully we can explain that well to them. And
what's it? And you can totally say this out loud. What's an average Surg Tech rate right now? Like what an average bill rate? Because I'll tell you, when I was back in my day, when I was a client manager, Surg Tech rates were like $50 an hour.
Yeah.
And man, if we got over 50, we were kings of the world.
Whenever I first started, I was making like $1,000 a week, and I was doing great. Like,
right.
I was like,
right,
loving it. But now I feel like they're way higher, like $2,000 a week.
I think last time I looked, I mean, Surg Tech rates are still between like 80 and 90, maybe somewhere up in there.
Yeah.
Man, we would have been rolling back then.
Exactly.
Get me back behind the phone. So, what do you think?
Yeah, travel nursing is not going away. We know that, right? There may be a downward spiral right now on the amount of openings, and I think what that's going to impart upon the nurses is to really build that relationship with your recruiter, to have those tough conversations of, where am I open to traveling to? Am I just wanting to stick with this one hospital and be in this one specific location? If so, I'm going to tell you, we can do that, and I will work hard to get you that. It just is going to take some time.
Yeah.
If you're open to multiple locations anywhere and you're actually truly wanting to do the travel adventure, great. Get me the understanding of what you would accept, where you are, because the speed to market right now is huge.
Yeah.
So if I were to text you in the morning at 7:30 that, hey, we've got 5 spots open in, you name it, Utah, and you want to post to that, but you don't get back to me till 7 o'clock that night, they're filled.
They're gone.
And so I think having that relationship with your recruiter to know, hey, if you see this for this pay in these specific locations, I want you to submit me. I want you to get it in there, because the speed to market is going to be where we're going to win this year.
I think that is absolutely true. And everything that we're doing on our end from a technology standpoint is all about speed. How fast can I does that job come in that I can get it in front of you guys, right? How does who does it have to pass through when new prospects come in? How do I get them to you as fast as we possibly can? Yeah, speed to market that's kind of we've talked about that a lot for this year. For sure.
And I'll say this, the client managers are going to probably be a little shy here, but they're doing an amazing job, and I've never seen a more hungry group of client managers, and the ability to get jobs in front of us. They know this isn't going to hit the system for about 30-45 minutes. I'm going to send an email so that I can, in that 45 minutes when it hits our system, I already know all my recruiters know about that job, and they're ready to hit submit.
And you got profiles ready to go. Like, it's just it's that quick.
Yep.
You have people that are ready for those that you can submit right away. Awesome. So, Hannah, Matt, thank you so much. It was fun.
You.
I can't wait to watch your careers as you progress here. So, right here. So, since they both started, look, I'm trying to look in your camera. You're not going to see me. Since they both started, just as of February now, back in October, they have time, and we've done Matt's 5-question Friday already. You can go find it. Hannah, you're next up. At some point, we'll get you in front of the camera too. But we'll put all their contact information right here, and then down below. If you're a Surg Tech and you want and need a recruiter that speaks your language, right here. Or, if you got a little more of an analytical background, right, and you understand the numbers better, then Matt's your guy. I think that's if you still want to talk about accounting stuff, maybe. So I think we're slightly more exciting than accountants, and
I would say so.
Don't tell Monty I said that. So. All right, thank you both so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.